Hello class, today we are adding and subtracting decimals, so let's get right into it. Up here we have a problem that says 2.63 plus 3.5. I'm going to show you some steps to do to solve this problem. Step number 1 is going to be to line up the decimals. So when you see a horizontal problem like this, let's make it a vertical problem. I like to write the decimals down first. So there's one decimal. There's another one because I have 1, 2 decimals in the problem there. So 1, 2 here, then I fill in the number around. So 2.63, 3.5. So I fill the numbers in around them. Step number 2 is going to be to fill in the empty spots. And we're going to use a 0 to fill in those empty spots. What I mean by that is like right here. Kind of looks empty because there's a number there. So I'm going to fill that in with a 0. I'm adding these together, so now I have my problem like that. Step number 3, in addition and subtraction, we bring the decimal straight down. So as I'm looking, the decimal is there, it's there. In my answer, it's going to be right there. And the last step, step number 4, is going to be add and subtract like normal, like you always have. At this point, you can just pretend like it's not even there. So 3 plus 0 is 3, 6 plus 5 is 11, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. My answer is 6.13, or 6 and 13 hundredths. I'm going to write another problem right here. I'm going to want you to pause and try it. I'll show you those steps again in just a moment. So here is the problem I want you to try. 4 and 2/10 plus, we're going to do 1 and 83 hundredths. I'm going to write our steps right over here. So step number 1 was line up the decimals. You may want to write those down as well. Step number 2 was going to be fill in the empty spots. Step number 3 is going to be decimal straight down. And step number 4 is going to be solve like normal. Nothing changes in the way that you add or subtract. The only difference is that you are now using decimals instead. So let me grab the computer, bring it over here closer to those steps. If you need to pause and write down those steps right now, that would be fine. Otherwise, your problem is right here, 4.2 plus 1.83. Go ahead and pause and solve that now. Alright, let's take a look at it following our steps. So step number 1 is going to line up the decimals. I'm adding 2 numbers together, so I'm going to have 2 decimal points. There's 1, there's 2. Fill in those numbers around there. 4.2. 1.83. Now everything is nice and lined up. I have this empty spot here, so step number 2 is fill in that blank spot. Then we are going to bring that decimal straight down. It's there, so right there will be in our answer. Then we add like normal. 0 plus 3 is 3. 2 plus 8, well that's a 10. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 and 1 is a 6. So 6.03. Okay, we're going to use the exact same steps to do a subtraction problem. So the subtraction problem that we are going to do, we're going to have 8 and 1/10 minus, and we're going to have 4 and 72 hundredths. Now, we're going to follow the same steps. It's always important to remember in subtraction that this first number has to be on the top when we go vertical. So we line up the decimals, 1, 2 decimals, same exact steps, like that. I'm going to take this one first. We have 8 and 1/10 minus 4 and 72 hundredths. Step number 3, we're going to fill in that empty spot that we see right there. Then we're going to subtract this like normal. So our decimal comes straight down. 0 minus 2, I can't do that. So I'm going to come all the way over here. I'm going to have to trade. We get a 7. Make that an 11. We need to borrow one of those for over here. We make that a 10. We have an 8, 3, 3. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 and 38 hundredths is what we end up with. Let's see if you can do one here. Let's try 5 and 72 hundredths minus 3 and 3/10. So, I want you to pause the video and see if you can solve that one there. 5 and 72 hundredths minus 3 and 3/10. Alright, let's see how you did. So, first step, line up those decimals. I see two numbers. We have 1, 2 decimals. 5 and 72 hundredths. So 5 and 72 hundredths. 3 and 3/10. So 3 and 3/10. Fill in those empty spots. Fill that in. Then we're going to put that decimal straight down. It's right there, and our answer will be right there. Then we subtract as normal. 2 minus 0 is 2. 7 minus 3 is 4. 5 minus 3 is 2. So 2.42 or 2 and 42 hundredths. So I want you to write down right now how you're feeling about that. Secure, developing, or beginning.